Right, okay, it's going.
Brilliant, thank you.
Right, okay, so I can see by going in here, manage setups, and also by looking at your welcome screen, that you have triggered the My Busy Things area. So this only appears if you've made a setup that we would call a registration group. So if I go into manage setups, I can see that you've got some here, look, it says registration group. The setups that Busy Things come with, they have this icon, and it's a simple setup. So there's no, by a simple setup, we kind of mean it's just a playground of activities, and there's no advanced sort of features going on in there. Any teacher can use it, any child can use it, and you really don't know what each other's doing. Okay, so it's these setups here that we like schools to make. And what that does is it triggers the My Busy Things area. Whoever makes it, it will belong to them, and it will be in their My Busy Things area. But if you wanted to have several teachers managing a class, say it was an after school club or something like that, you would go into settings, manage owners, and start adding other people. Now it looks like it's only you that's actually ever logged in. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, I set these up like last week,
No,
and
it's not correct. Sorry, all these people have logged in.
yeah, but they haven't been put into the class. Is that it?
They might not have made their own class, yeah, so they won't have a My Busy Things area. They've gone as far as, you know, logging in and making their busybody. But if you, I mean, what is your, are you hoping to make classes for teachers?
Yeah, that's why I made those classes. So I was going to add all the teachers into them. So
Yeah, so that's where you're going to do that then. If these are different classes, are they, or are they pupils?
they're different classes.
Right, okay, so you would go to settings, manage owners, you can keep yourself on there, but then assign whichever teacher it is here.
Cool.
And then that will trigger their My Busy Things area and put the class in it.
Got you.
Okay, so when so that's why you've got this. You, as an LGFL teacher, have been into Busy Things, identified yourself with your USO, so we know who you are, and made a registration group, okay? So which is your registration group? Or have you not got one?
I haven't got one, but Shonabare, maybe go for that one. That's year 5 class.
Right, so here we go. Look, there are no pupils in this registration group. So the line of communication between the owner of that class and the pupils in it has not opened up yet because the pupils haven't joined the class. Okay, so they join the class only once when they log in with their USO for the first time since that class has been made. Right, so this child here, we can always undo this. Hanan, do you know what class he's in or she's in?
Yeah, she's in that Shonabare class.
Right, okay, so this is what she will be doing. She'll come in, you could have a lesson where they all make a picture of themselves. I'll just do that. And then she'll click on here and she'll click join class. Ah, right, yes. So the way that pupils on LGFL join is when you made your classes, you would have seen a class code generated at the end. You can get that back here in the manage setups, get class code. Print class code gives something that you can hand out to the pupils and gives them instructions on what to do. If we just go get class code, it's there, look, .10. And you can edit that here as well before you generate print class code. So if I do full size so you can see it, every class has one of these. It's a one-time only process. They don't need to remember this code. So this is sort of lesson 1 once you've made the class. Make your busybody and join the class. And then from that point onwards, the line of communication is open and all they ever need to do is log in with their USO, click on My Busy Things, and everything in their class is in there. So you avoid, at that point, you avoid those 3 age bands. You don't need the early years, key stage 1, key stage 2. You just go into My Busy Things. Okay, so this is, how do you say that? Johnny Bar?
Shonabare, sorry, I was drinking water. Shonabare, yeah, it's after an artist.
And .10. Okay,
yeah, brilliant.
But you could have edited that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything you want before you generate this PDF. So you've set up the classes for all the teachers. They're going to have a lesson where the children all get going on busy things. So the children log in with their USO, make a busybody of themselves, click on this, and then click join class, and they type in .10. Okay, so it says you are now in class Shonibare. Okay, so this is the inside of that class. The next time this child comes along and logs in with their USO, this will be ready for them. It is possible to hide these on your account, but this is where the sort of playgrounds are, if you know what I mean. So this is where they would do work that you've maybe pushed forward to them and you want to have a look at, because in a registration group, if a child's working within a registration group, you can send them assignments and messages and they start building up a timeline, and there's a place for all their work as well.
Where would a busy blast go?
Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now is we've got one child in the class. So I'm going to go back now here. Get rid of that. So that child is in Pip Bowles' class. I'm going in here. These currently all belong to you. So you've got everything. But you would normally see maybe a couple of classes and perhaps the teaching group. I'll explain what a teaching group is. These simple setups are where you can, put work forward, but none of it's tracked. Right.
So that might be where I just pin something.
No, you can
pin if I don't want
here as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Imagine all the children in this class, you want, there's several ways of sending them work. So you can send assignments, you can create pins, you can add activities to favorites, and then in here you can blast everybody that's appearing in managed pupils. Let's just reload that because that child should be appearing in there now. There she is. All these children are going to receive anything that you do here and in here if they're in this class. So these tools are managing what the children see in their My Busy Things area. Okay, so this is how you send a blast. This is where you make them a pin or set them an assignment or send them a message. So if we want to create a pin, let's say we want to make a lesson, Wednesday maths, It's assuming that we want it in this class because we're in this class. The teaching group is something I mentioned as this is a way of differentiating within your class. So once a child has joined a registration group, you can put them then in smaller teaching groups. So I don't want to blow your mind too much, but a teaching group can contain a smaller group of children from multiple registration groups. So if your school is everybody sort of splits up for maths, say, you could start managing different scenarios, but they do need to be in a registration group in order to be put into a smaller teaching group. But let's imagine this class, everybody's going to be doing the same lesson.
So just on that could be across any registration group then?
Yeah, once a child's in a registration group, so a teaching group could have, I don't know what this scenario would be, it could have a child from an early years class and a child from a year 6 in, and they'd go into their My Busy Things area with their registration group, but they would be getting work set from the teaching group. So you've got that's kind of advanced busy things, but everybody needs to be appearing in a pupil list in a registration group before you can really go to town with stuff and teaching groups.
So sorry, just again, do you recommend doing registration groups from like year 2? Or do you do them in year 1 as well?
Well, lots of schools are doing them straight. If a child knows their USO, I mean, you can join using the code for them if you're worried about them doing that. But if a child knows their USO and they know and they can click on their class, they can join
using a different login.
But ultimately, an early years child is only going to have to know their USO and click on My Busy Things. That's it.
Yeah.
Once they're in. So, it's if you want to make a lesson of the class code, then obviously it's going to be year 2 and above, I think. But if you want to set it up for an early years child, it's very easy to use My Busy Things.
Yeah, got you.
Right, so I decided I was going to make a pin called Wednesday Maths. I'm adding some activities here. I'm going to go maths games. I'm going to add that one. I'm going to add that one. Okay. And like we showed you yesterday, you can start adding instructions. Last week, I'm just taking text that's in my browser history. And then if you click this one, I don't know why we've got 2 of those. I can't remember what I did there. You can start playing until you've got this exactly how you want it. Okay, so we've made a pin that's got all my instruction and everything in it. This is what we're talking about with you yesterday, is making some ready-made ones that come up in the search tools. So we'll have a search lessons. So we've made a pin. You can also set an assignment. That might be a quiz or a project. We just very quickly choose a simple project just to show you. I'm just taking all the defaults, just going straight through. And at the end of that, I'm going to send a blast. And I'll say for Friday. And you can say, you can plan ahead with busy things. So anything that you're doing in the My Busy Things area, you can say when it's going to appear. So
and through, if you're doing a blast, you can send it as voice as well. Voice instructions.
So for early years. Right, so we've made that, and now we're sending we've just sent a blast. If I'd click that, I could record a message as well. But you can, so there's the assignment that we've made. Remember, we're in now my busy things area, that's my class, and I've made an assignment in here. So it's gone to all the children in this class through a blast. If I go into the blasts area, you can see it here. And I can carry on with that if I'm not quite happy. And I could add an audio instruction there if I wanted to. Oh, what have I done? I've come back to the children. We didn't like that, did it? That's because I tried to add it afterwards. That's quite good that we found that. Have you lost the screen share now?
No, I can still see it.
Okay, well, let me go over back to here.
Is that your dog?
Pardon?
Is that your dog? On the background
Oh,
of
you
your
can
Google
see the other background. I've got two dogs. Yeah,
window. Oh, it's beautiful.
those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. Sorry, distracting you. It's just nice. Okay, yeah, I can see busy things. I can on the pupil screen. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Look.
Ah, cool. This is the part I wanted to see. This is great.
So there's the pin we made
Oh yeah.
with the instruction,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the blast that we made of the assignment. So the children, remember, all the children will log in to their My Busy Things, and they will see that at the top. So I'm obviously not trying to do this properly, but you can. There's a hell of a lot in Busy Things, really huge amount of stuff that I think people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
So when they come out of there, they can submit.
And yeah, so you can submit. You can save it as a draft. Okay, cool.
There was lots of different things you could do. So that's just going to start, because we're using My Busy Things in registration groups. It's going to start populating this child's timeline every 15 minutes. Timelines are updated.
Oh right. Okay. Cool.
So let's go back now. I'm going to have to log in again as you. So that's where you saw him.
Yeah.
Thursday. That's in the chat, isn't it? Let me just get that back again.
I can write it for you again if you want. There you go.
Have you put it in again?
Yeah.
I don't know where it's gone. Oh, there we go. Yes. I must remember that. I need to tell Duncan that having audio picked it out. If I'd done it in the first sweep, it probably wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Because I tried to edit it. Okay, so you're coming back in. You have a chat. You have. It keeps disturbing me that you've got so many in your My Busy Things. You normally just got one class and a couple of
Yeah.
teachers.
Sorry, it's because I'm sorting the whole school out.
So if I go into assignments now, you can see you've had one submission, and that's the. If I go on here and go results, this is the submission. Yeah, you'd normally have all of these. You'd have loads of results down here, and you'd have a list of all the children in your class, but because we've only got one child in this class at the moment who haven't yet done it, and then you can start using these boxes to cherry pick who you want to send feedback to, and
That's how you do it.
and whose work you want to export So if I just do send feedback, again, you can send audio feedback, or you can just send a picture and a message. Okay. That's gone off to this child's My Busy Things area. If I'd selected several children, it would go to all of them and appear in their little messages folder. Right. Okay. So if we go into timeline, you can see that it's telling me that this child has done this activity. And again, from the timeline, you can start viewing files and sending feedback and reviewing feedback. So all across here, you can see what the children have been doing all across here. And then all across here, you find work and send it to them, either through a pin or a blast. So I can go into the blast and just blast an activity, or I can blast a pin. If I blast an activity, I'm now looking at all the activities in my class. So I choose an art one and send it in exactly the same way. So that's sent that to everyone in my class. The way to think about it is, if I come right out here and start using these tools to find content, I'm searching through all of this.
Yeah.
I could find a Key Stage 2 game for a Key Stage 1 child out here. But when I'm searching within my teacher hub, I'm searching my class. And this is a Key Stage 2 class. So effectively, these tools are searching all the content that sits behind here.
Yeah.
If you have one child in particular in mind that you wanted to maybe send work at a lower level, you would probably come out here and say the one child in our class is that child. You would find it here. So say we wanted to find some Key Stage 1 content, and we found it here. There's nothing to stop you blasting it from here or pinning it from here into your class. The same options will come up. Look, it's there still. You can take content at any level and push it into the My Busy Things area for children in all of these groups.
So if I blasted from there, would it still show as an activity under the activity or the assignment button, or would it just come as a blast?
This is an activity. Yeah, so that's going to show as hello. So if you go in now and you look in your blasts area, it's there. So that's an activity that we chose from Key Stage 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I go back and show you now, normally this child's Busy Things area wouldn't look quite like this, but she's got 3 now, including one with an audio message there. Hello.
And the messages would be the feedback.
The messages is here. So that's the feedback that you just sent her. You remember the feedback that we sent from the assignments area is appearing in her messages folder in her My Busy Things area.
Could the child then reply back to the teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, that's worth knowing.
You can switch that on or off because some schools don't want it. So there she is saying back. So now if we come back here, you'll have that message. To reload, it will come in here. because you may be having a dialogue with children from several different classes. There it is, look. You're having, so these are all the conversations that you might be having. And there it is. So, yeah, there's just so much. That's a very quick overview of how to use it kind of properly, as it were.
Yeah.
You need to get the children to all
Log in, populate.
And then what teachers can do is go into their My Busy Things area, click create new class, take that default next, but here select teaching group, okay, and next manage owners. That will be it. You can put other people, you basically put in a list of people who you want to be able to access it through their My Busy Things area there. So say this is a computing one, a computing teaching group, but it could be phonics, could be anything. I'm going to go up the top, change the icon, change the background. You can also change the landing page, so you can have it just display computing. Can't see, where is it?
It's ICT underneath science. Yeah.
Right, so when it's a teaching group, because the pupils already exist on Busy Things, you can add them yourself. So this is all the classes that exist. And we know there's a pupil in here. So you can basically go dip in and out of all these classes and start adding them to this teaching group. Do you see what I mean? So now we've got a teaching group. And in here would be all the pupils that you chose at the last point, at the last stage of making it. And with that teaching group, you get exactly the same tools. So you can find content. It's only showing these because we made the landing page computing. You can find content and blast it and so on, but only the children in here will see that. Okay. Now, the very last stage there, if I just refresh this child again, because we put her in that, or him in that teaching group, he's now got a teaching group here as well. His My Busy Things area is getting more complicated. When you make a teaching group, the very last stage where I changed the landing page to computing, you can also decide to hide this from their My Busy Things area. And you would do that if maybe you were sending them content from this teaching group at a lower level to everybody else, so they don't know they're in that teaching group. But sometimes you want them to know that they're in that teaching group. But it doesn't have to, there is an option to decide whether this group is visible to them or not, because they won't know that what they're seeing in their My Busy Things area might be different because it's come from a teaching group that you've hidden from them. So the advantage of setting children up properly is that they start to collate their files. And if they need to change class, they can do that here, just entering the code of the class that you want to move them into. So you could do it for them. And if you remember, the codes are always visible, accessible via the Manage Setups area. Trying to think what else. There's a lot of, I don't know whether you've seen the Resource Maker, have you?
Yeah, I have in the past, yeah.
Yeah, so you go in, now once you've got a My Busy Things area, you can go in through here and any files that you save will go in there for you to access later. There's a whole load of maths ones now. I don't know if you're aware of that, as well as phonics ones. So these are paper-based resources that you make yourself based on you know, choosing number ranges or phonemes, etc. And you keep them there for when
Yeah,
you
I
print them.
really like the resources. I think it's really good.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, do you want me to just quickly undo all of that so you not this child hasn't? Do you want me to just take them out of there?
Yeah, if you just take them out, yeah, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
So when you click this is another way actually of once you've got a full registration group and you start clicking them, you can start sectioning them off into teaching groups here. Anyway, I'm going to delete that pupil. When you delete a pupil, it does delete everything they've done. So that's cleaned out the, it will clean out this submission.
Yeah. Is there a way of archiving stuff, or would the best way to do that be to just move the child up, and when you move them into the next year, will it go with them?
It goes with them, yeah.
Sure, okay.
I think every school's got a sort of file limit, but we do get an alert when that gets full, and people rarely reach it. But the idea is that they do get to keep their work until they leave the school.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I think I've undone everything. I don't want that child to, let's just check. This could freak out, couldn't it?
And there you go, yeah, it's gone. When a child's working, a child can save their work along the way, and then it will store in My Files. Is that correct?
Yeah, and also in their timeline. And you can export children's timelines. At the top of the timeline, in your My Busy Things area, you've got class timeline.
All right, yeah.
So you can export that, and it will show what the class has been doing, and you can check if you want to take curriculum objectives and discussion points with that. So you can get some evidence on paper, and you can also do that within individual timelines as well. So always check out when you're working as a teacher what's up here, basically, and wherever you see checkboxes, just check one of them and see how that changes or what buttons appear, because that's basically the way forward. Also the little red button, that's really important. So not that one. All of these.
Yeah.
You've got create shortcut as well. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's really good.
So that would, yeah, those are useful. So always look at this, always look at the teacher bar, and always look out for checkboxes. You pretty much find everything that way if you're sort of thinking about that kind of thing. Yeah, it's quite a while since I've done this because of Easter and everything. So I'm trying to think whether there's any.
That seems to be the main features. Like I've used Busy Things for a while. It's just using it, trying to set My Busy Things up really to start giving assignments to the children.
Yeah, you need to. It seems like you're well on the way, but you need to get all the children to join.
Yeah, I do completely. Yeah, and then I think you're right.
The owners.
Sorry.
And then make sure you get the ownership right.
Yes.
You pay on them all. You can have as many owners as you like. If you want to kind of oversee it for the school, that's fine. But if the teacher wants it to appear in their My Busy Things area, they're going to have to be one of the owners.
Yeah, sure. So I can change. I can set all the children up in the lessons I teach, and then I can give ownership over. Well, yeah. Add the teachers. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'll do.
Yeah, this is struggling to load now, isn't it?
That's really helpful. I think that's like everything that I wanted to know, what it looks like as a child versus what it looks like as a teacher, and where all of the things, where it all goes. So that was really, really helpful.
Yeah,
really good.
If you did get to the stage where you only want the children to be working in My Busy Things. You go up to account settings,
This is where you hide things. Okay.
that off. We've got a problem here today with my internet, I think, and that will just put My Busy Things there. So when they log in, then it's really neat,
Mm.
and they don't get. I mean, some schools do want that, but they want the sort of playground area as well, where nobody cares what they're doing, you know, for golden time and stuff.
Yeah.
So account settings on the welcome screen. There's all sorts of options in advanced settings, so you can change what it looks like and what's showing.
Yeah, I need to start using that top line more, I think.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot.
looking at the settings.